Should have known this was coming. It's the middle of January, and John Murdy throws out our first code name. Now, will this pertain to Hollywood only, or will this be a share? I'm about to tell you what I think, at the present moment, this all means. So, last night, John Murdy went on Twitter, like he usually does, and used the @HorrorNights Twitter feed to make the normal disclaimer he usually throws out, basically saying the code names are diabolical, they're hard to decipher, and that's basically done by design. They're designed to drive you insane, and people that try to decipher them are going to be driven completely insane. And he furthermore says they're going to be more obscure and even more cryptic as the time goes on, so there's really no point to even try to decipher them. But being that I am a Halloween Horror Nights updater, I'm going to do just that. So this is your first video. This may be the first of many videos, but right now we're going to try to decipher what is Wisconsin. So, another thing before we get started is the fact that Murdy himself says he's only doing code names for a few of the mazes. He doesn't say exactly how many, but he's basically not telling us how many mazes there's going to be. My guess is 6 plus a terror tram, but we'll talk about that in another video. Now, I'm going to start with what I'm going to say this is, and it's going to be with the code name clues. Alright, Wisconsin, meaning there's a connection between this maze and that state, alright? Now, the most famous case of the paranormal investigating team of Ed and Lorraine Warren was the Amityville case. And most people would know it based on the Amityville Horror. It is a book, it's also a film. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, and Amityville is in New York. Yeah, Amityville is in New York. But, if you look deeper into it, there was a version of it in 2005. A remake starring Ryan Reynolds, and it actually was filmed in Wisconsin. So much so that it was filmed in Silver Lake, Wisconsin. But the big deal here is the house itself, which, by the way, just went on the market if you have a spare $1.9 million laying around somewhere. I don't know if you do or not, but if you do, bingo, you got a place to live, is located in Salem, Wisconsin. Numero 1. What I can tell you without really telling you anything, well, I will say it's a movie never been featured before at Halloween Horror Nights. This obviously has never been at Halloween Horror Nights before. In 2013, which is the shirt I'm wearing right now, obviously my shirt does not have Insidious or El Cucuy or Universal Monsters Remix on the back of it, or even Black Sabbath 13. Why? Because this shirt is from Orlando, from Halloween Horror Nights 23, which is my first real year of the event, because I don't count 22, because that's a long story altogether. There's a video on this channel that actually starts this playlist. But, it's never been featured at the event before. Third, this maze has been highly requested, and that could be a plethora of things. There's so many people want so many things. Well, he said we listen to our fans. Not always, but in this case we did. This has been requested ever since the first film came out in 2013, and given the fact that the Enfield Poltergeist is about to come out in April of this year, what a perfect time to make this happen. He says there's some original elements. A crazy idea inspired by something from the movie, but not exactly in the movie. My personal guess is there is something that John wanted to do with The Exorcist if he ever got the rights to the property. And I'm not saying he's giving up, and I know he's been trying for the last several years, to say the least. But if he's never going to get The Exorcist, we saw some of the things in This Is the End, 3D from last year, and I think we're going to see more. I think something based upon this movie is going to be something that he would have used in The Exorcist because it fits. He also said that he's going to do some original film production, and he's going to basically don a wig. So I'm thinking he might be maybe getting his Patrick Wilson on, who knows, or maybe he's gonna play a gentleman in the trailer, or like an older gentleman in the trailer that you can't tell what's the thing that's on his shoulder. Yeah, what am I saying? Well, here's more to it. There's a picture that John posted, and it was a picture of something he got via a fan. This is what he said. there was a picture posted on December 21st. There was a slide, like a ruler type that said 3 meters, right? There was a Christmas cookie, and there was the Diableries Stereoscopic Adventures in Hell, which are 3D cards from France, alright? Now, Diableries, hopefully I'm saying correctly, which I'm probably not, because I really screwed up El Cucuy before when we were talking about that in the Boogeyman maze, could lead to another clue. Now, in the trailer of the movie that I'm kind of dancing around for good reason, there is a scene that actually really hits hard, especially if you watch the scene in a theater, and that is a zoetrope. And a zoetrope is another word for the Wheel of Life. Zoetrope that is going to slowly bring us to a Kubrick-like shining reveal of the director James Wan. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Now, this could possibly be a guess, but like I said, it's purely speculation. Now, Brian May of Queen wrote this book based on the Diableries, and that was with Dennis Pellerin, and that's what these cards are based on. And if you look at the key that is also on that picture, that also tells us that there is at least 5 C's. 1. There's at least 3 G's, and based on what I think could possibly be in there, yeah, I think 3 covers it right there. There's at least 6 I's. Yeah, I think that's in there. There's a J or a 2. Gee, I wonder what those are. Something tells me we'll be talking about a verses before too long. There's at least 9 N's, there's at least 8 O's, and unfortunately U and R were covered up. So what do I mean? What am I trying to say? Well, I'm sure it's pretty obvious when I reveal that I believe as of 11:33 p.m., I know this video is going up tomorrow, but 11:33 p.m. on January 19th, that Wisconsin is the Conjuring. Now, could it be something else? Possibly. Could it be something we have not seen in the event before? I know a lot of people are throwing out Freddy versus Jason. I don't see the personal connection right away, but I understand the Carney way of saying this. If it is Freddy versus Jason, which is another thing I think is coming to the event, but I think it's a different code word. I know a lot of people are saying the same thing about The Conjuring on different message boards, but still, I'm going with that as my final choice, as of right now. Final choice, ... as of right now, so yeah, you gotta love that. The ellipses always just put a nice little stamp on everything. So, I'm saying that we're talking about The Conjuring. Freddy versus Jason, it is seemingly eliminated by the fact it's never been at the event before. Well, here's another thing. Another thing you have to think about. Freddy versus Jason's never been at the event before. Now, obviously, Freddy and Jason have been at the event before. Freddy and Jason, and Leatherface, have been at the event before. But Freddy versus Jason hasn't been at the event before. That's a Carney way to say, even though we've seen Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees at Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood before, does not mean they've been in the same maze at the same time. Which is another reason that this could potentially be Freddy versus Jason, but I haven't worked it out that way. I have it as The Conjuring. We could be shooting towards Krampus and Dark Christmas, depending on how they want to use it. I think it's coming, but I don't know exactly where. But I think another code word. Or maybe that doesn't even get a code name. As of right now, like I said, I think there are 6 mazes and a terror tram this year. And I'm also thinking that 4 of these mazes actually get a treatment. This one, obviously. And something else, which I think should have came last year, and everybody thought was going to come last year, but we got it only instead, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And 2 other things. I think if something comes that some people don't want to come to the event, I don't think that's getting a code name. And I'm being really cryptic when I say that. And something that is going to be the absolute final maze of a series that is very successful, I think it'll get a code name. And something I think that could be very spread apart the entire park in one form or another will also not get a code name. But that's just me, and that's just my speculation. But we'll see what happens. So as of right now, I will say my thoughts are that we're talking about Wisconsin being the Conjuring. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and this is my first Halloween Horror Nights speculation video. if this is The Conjuring, which I truly believe it is as of this moment, I know the ... I still believe The Conjuring is coming. If it's not this code name, it will be another one. And I'll tell you right now, there was a comment that was put out on Twitter that it was from my friend Mockingjay from the Orlando United forums. And she basically asked John Murdy if this was for, without, like in a roundabout way, asking if this was for both coasts, pretty much. And he said he only deals in the West Coast. I'm paraphrasing, of course. That's not saying this is California only. That's saying he's going to let Mike Aiello do the talking for us. And he's going to do the talking for himself, for Chris Williams, and for Hollywood. That's how I see it. I don't think this is California only. Doesn't make any sense for it to be. Now, if Turnabout is fair play, I guess, we've gotten stuff before Hollywood did. Like, obviously, we got an American Werewolf in London, the year I'm talking shirt I'm wearing right now. And they got Insidious. So, then they got Crimson Peak. And are they possibly going to get The Conjuring first? Nah. This is a share. It has to be a share. And if it's not, I'm going to be super surprised. Because I don't see any way, after as successful as Insidious was in Orlando last year, that we let that slip away. So yeah, that's what I'm saying right now. I'm saying it's The Conjuring. Whether it's right or not, whether I have to make another one of these speculation videos, remains to be seen. But a lot of things still to come very soon. Obviously, we should get our dates, our official dates, because obviously it says dates subject to change on the website. So we'll get our official dates for 2016 and find out exactly what's going to be happening. So follow along with me on @Popcast Network on Twitter and @Saro and Disney if you want to find out more information, and follow along with Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood at @Horror Nights and Halloween Horror Nights Orlando at @Horror Nights ORL. So that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.